Martin Boards. What? Sorry. Oh, yeah. Okay. Hello, and welcome to the Jib. We were just talking about nothing. This bi-weekly podcast is about the many and varied schemes of the many and varied U.S. law enforcement and intelligence agencies, organizations, and committees, and how they are stupid and funny. Join us on our merry journey through space and time. Hi, my name is Barry, and I'm Irish. I don't like potatoes, and I've never had any alcohol. Merry Christmas!
It's still so bizarre, so bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, everybody. I'm Seamus, and you may know me from the documentary series So I Married My Cousin. Now what?
You just said that me not drinking is bizarre.
Hey, I didn't say I married my cousin.
Fair enough. Yeah, okay.
So,
Well, we're not here to talk about incest or alcoholism. We're here to discuss.
oh, you want me to go this time?
I would prefer if you did, please.
Because I have the script? Okay.
Because you have the script, yes,
Yeah.
and it's a good one. I can tell you it is
thank
a good
you.
one.
Thank you.
Mm.
All right. So, all of you probably heard this gentleman's name in the news, so that's why I kind of bumped him up in the list for what happened recently. But I'm sure not everybody knows the whole story. His name is Robert Philip Hanssen.
I have not heard his name before because you showed me the script yesterday.
Okay.
Yep.
And this is what he looks like.
Oh, hello.
Well, probably the most prominent picture. So, and the only photo we'll have for this, I don't know if I'll leave it up the whole time. Anyways,
Okay.
that's what our hero, for lack of better words, for the story. That's what he looks like. He was born April 18th, 1944, in Chicago, Illinois. His father was a cop. His mom was a homemaker. The Hanssens had a strong Roman Catholic religious beliefs. They were also very conservative, which also had a significant influence on his upbringing. There are claims that his father was emotionally and physically abusive towards him as a child. Overall, they say that Robert was a shy and timid boy, but he would display sudden and short episodes of what you would say risky behavior. This included, included a incident where he randomly shot a gun into a basement of a home, and another one where he drove through the streets like he was in the Indy 500, as in like small neighborhood streets. Yeah, kind of extremes, right?
Yeah.
These episodes would then be followed by Robert returning to his normal, meek and mannered self. Hanssen excelled academically from an early age. He grew a fondness for cryptography. I mean, who didn't? In the books of Ian Fleming, some of you may know as a creator of James Bond.
Yep.
He attended William Howard Taft High School in Chicago, where he distinguished himself as a top student. After graduation, he pursued higher education at Knox College in Illinois, majoring in chemistry. He also studied Russian. Might come in handy. His exceptional intelligence and analytical abilities became apparent during his college years. He met Bernadette Bonnie Wack. I think I pronounced that. Wack? W-A-U-C-K.
I do not know, man. You're asking the wrong guy. I can't even say virulent.
We'll go with Wack.
Or a veterinary surgeon.
Right. A staunch Roman Catholic also, while they both attended Northwestern.
Northwestern's a university, is it?
Yes, sir. The couple married in 1968 because the two bonded over their religious beliefs. More on that later.
Okay.
Hanssen, I was staring at him the whole time I'm reading this.
Okay. Well, it's not offensive.
Yeah.
He's just a guy.
It's just a guy. Hanssen earned an MBA in accounting and information systems. In 1971, he took on a job at an accountant firm.
I would love to know what a course in information systems would look like in 1971, because I know it looks like now.
Yeah, like making Pong? I don't know. I mean,
information systems, it means like computerized stuff.
Yeah.
In 1971, people were not using computers, I gather.
Not really. I mean, they're using those giant reel-to-reel things, right?
Yeah, the punch card system.
Yeah, yeah. After a year, he joined the Chicago Police Department as he tried to follow in his father's footsteps. He was assigned to internal affairs as an investigator, specifically in forensic accounting, for the unit called the C5. He was tasked with weeding out corrupt cops,
Okay, wait a
Now-
second. Corrupt cops in the late 60s and early 70s in the Chicago Police Department is something we've discussed before, isn't it?
This is true. This is true. So whenever his father was in C5, he was head of what was called the Red Squad.
Okay.
Can't imagine what that's for? I'll tell you. This group was tasked with investigating suspected communists.
Communist. Okay.
Shocker. Yeah. So do you feel like we've foreshadowed enough here, Bearcat? Do you think we built up enough of what could be down the road here?
Did you say Bearcat?
Just trying to be playful. My bear man.
Okay. Okay.
What?
Go on.
Okay,
I think you
come on.
foreshadowed when you said he learned Russian in college. That's what I think you were foreshadowing. But go on.
Okay. All right. Where we go. In January 76, Hanssen left Chicago PD to join the Federal Bureau of Investigations. Also to mention that I don't believe it was his idea to do this.
To join the FBI?
Yes.
Whose idea?
It was his supervisors. I heard two
the
different
Chicago
versions
PD?
of this. Yes, I heard two different versions of this. One was that they thought he was too exceptional to be part of the department, that he needed to go higher. The other version is they all hated his guts and was trying to get him the fuck out the doors anywhere they can. And the only one the place that he was interested in was the FBI when they brought it up to him.
Well, do you think this guy, I mean,
So,
I'm not going to spoil the thing of it, but it's possible that like people like this would have to be some way likable, wouldn't they?
you would, well, I don't know. I think that's part of.
Again, I don't want to ruin the magic of the podcast, but I have seen this script before.
Yeah.
So when Seamus says foreshadowing, I'm just saying yes, it is. Okay.
Yeah, I
So,
think he's kind of a nerd, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I
but
think
he'd have to be a likable nerd. Otherwise, some of the things you've said here wouldn't make any sense at all.
maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe,
All right, we'll see.
we'll see. I'll let everybody else. We can talk about more as we go.
Okay.
Anyway, so Hanssen got hired shortly after he was sent to the field office in Gary, Indiana.
That's where Michael Jackson's from, isn't it?
So, I don't know. Is he? Is that where they're from?
Oh, he's from Gary, Indiana. Yeah.
How
I
about
thought
that?
so. I don't know. I just popped into my head.
In 78, he moved to New York City. Soon Hanssen would shift into counterintelligence,
Oh, here we go.
where he was given the task of complying a database of Soviet intelligence for the FBI.
Okay.
Robert asked to be considered as a field agent, but no one at the FBI saw him as having this stuff to work in the field. It would appear his dreams of playing Agent 007 would be dashed, or would it?
Dun, dun, dun. So,
1970.
so basically, he's a nerd.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't let him in the field, but he's good for
Yep.
number crunching.
That's it.
Okay.
Yep. So 79, Hanssen approaches the Soviet main intelligence directory, which is the GRU, and offered his services. Hanssen gave the GRU a list of suspected Soviet intelligence agents and information about the FBI's bugging activity.
By the way, while I was writing my ad for this, the ad I wrote, I learned that the GRU is not the same thing as the FSB.
Okay.
The GRU is military intelligence, and FSB is like FBI stuff.
Oh,
Right? They're both completely different, and they may not have any kind of communication with each other at all.
that's
I thought it was the
interesting.
same thing until I got this script yesterday.
didn't
So
know-
I've learned something.
I didn't know that either, so thanks a lot, man. Okay, so like I said, he's got all this information. During the first exchange with the Soviets, Hanssen outed Dmitry Polikov, who was an informant for the CIA. Later in 85, the CIA mole Aldrich Ames confirmed for the Soviets that Polikov was a spy. He was arrested in 86 and executed in 88.
And we will probably be talking about Alder James again at some point.
No doubt. Actually, in this episode. After what?
But also in a different episode, Seamus, is what I meant.
I know.
Actually.
After one of his early exchanges with the Russians, Bonnie, his wife, walked in on him hiding some papers. She grew suspicious, went through his stuff, assuming he's writing a letter to some chick he's gotten on the side or something. Instead, she finds out that Robert's a rat from Mother Russia. She tries to convince him, I get it backwards. He claims that it's part of a disinformation campaign, right?
Okay.
He's got 30 grand of the sweet cash. He just happened to, take that along for the ride. It's a bonus. Come on, no big deal, right, sweetie? But Bonnie wasn't having that, and she reminded them of their faith and their need to be pure, which is a nice time to discuss their faith. Now, Barry, to my mano, have you ever heard of the Opus Dei?
I have heard of them.
Okay.
Tell me about the Opus Dei.
Okay. Did you know what Opus Dei means in Latin?
I do. It means I actually did know this.
I figured you did.
It's in the script, but I also know it. It means work of God. God's
correct.
work.
It's best known as a practice
Funny enough,
mortification.
Opus means work. So when you see musical things like composers, they say opus number 31. It just means the 31st work. The plural of opus is opera.
Oh.
Female plural of opus is opera. So that's where that word comes from. Works.
Learning so much today. So it's basically it's mostly noted for their practice of mortification. Example of this would include fasting or corporal mortifications, such as self-flagellance. Now, or flagellation. Some of you may know this exercise from seeing Paul Bettany's display of atonement in that weird documentary called The Da Vinci Code.
Yes, I've never seen that, but I have read the book.
There you go. So you know what I'm talking about.
Paul Bettany was not in the book.
Yeah, I know. This character. Never mind. Okay, moving on. So what's that?
I assume he whips himself.
Yes.
And is he a member of Opus Dei in the film?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. There you go. So Bonnie does her own flagellating of Robert, sends him to church, right, to confess.
You're not saying that she actually hurt him in some way. This is all metaphorical, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Tongue in cheek, if you will.
Yes.
Now Robert and Bonnie were known by their fellow Opus Deis, backslappers that they're super devout folks, right?
Backslappers. Good.
Yeah, thank you. A priest at Oakrest said Hanssen was a regular and he attended mass at 6 a.m. daily. So well over a decade, he's always there. Robert did as Bonnie instructed and asked to confess his crimes against the state and to God because God's on Team America. So
God is an American. According to David Bowie told me that years ago. God is an American.
Yep. So Bonnie thought, hey, it's over. No big deal, right? It's all under the rug. We're going to move on. But no, Robert would repeat this ritual periodically as he continued to admit his various espionage activities to priests throughout the years. We'll come back to some of that too. 81, Robert and family would have to move again. This time he's transferred to FBI headquarters in D.C. There he began working in the FBI's budget office. This would give him even more access to information. Robert could now collect information on all of the FBI's activities related to wiretapping, electronic surveillance.
Anything that required a budget release.
Yes.
Access to it.
Exactly. Hanssen maintained his reputation as being that of a religious zealot while living there. His fellow member of the Opus Dei, John McClaskey, said, yes.
When you gave me this script yesterday, I was looking through it. I Googled see John McClaskey, and he has been accused of sexual harassment.
Oh, shit. Okay, then. Interesting to know.
Yeah, the Opus Dei guy.
Yeah, so he said that Robert would often attend the daily noontime mass as well.
As well as the 6 a.m.
For the Catholic Information Center downtown D.C. Robert would also he would give testimonials, right? Try to recruit his fellow mates to to fellow Catholics. Yes. So I tell you, he might not be likable. He urged his fellow Catholics and the FBI to attend mass more than often because they had to announce the Russians as godless.
Well, we've had that before.
The
whole move that the Americans had against Russia was not just against communists, but they codified communism as atheism.
Right.
And we have to do something about these atheists because atheists are evil, not like Roman Catholics like Adolf Hitler or Benito Mussolini or Franco or any of those good Roman Catholic guys.
It's not the same thing. What are you talking about?
Different.
3 years later, Robert moved to the FBI Soviet Analytical Unit, responsible for studying, identifying, capturing. Wait for it. Soviet spies.
Hey!
So he's looking for himself, right? Anyway, Hanssen section evaluated Soviet agents who offered to flip on their former land of the Tsars. Robert and crew would decide if said turncoats could be trusted. At 85, Hanssen again transferred to the FBI's field office in New York City, where he continued to work as counterintelligence against the Soviets. After the transfer, while on business back in Washington, he decides to get back into the spy game.
Okay.
So, October 1st, 1985, Hanssen adopts a code name, Roman Garcia.
Ramon Garcia. Ramon.
No idea why. No idea why. But he sends
Because
this
if
letter.
somebody goes looking for Ramon Garcia, they're not going to find they'll just go straight over this guy, the guys whose photo you put up. Yeah, no one's going to look for that. That's not Ramon Garcia.
That's not Ramon. That's the photo of Ramon.
Ramon Garcia.
Yeah. So he sends this letter, right, that's supposedly from our man Ramon to a specific officer in the KGB.
Okay.
That he found the name through his counterintelligence. And they offer him about $100,000, which would be equivalent to about $270,000 today.
That's a lot of money.
Yep. In the letter, he names 3 FBI moles to the KGB. After the Soviets learned their identities, one's in prison, 2 were executed.
He gave them the names of 3 FBI moles.
Yep.
This guy's basically sending people to their execution.
Yep.
As
He's getting paid.
His story is.
He's getting paid. That's all that matters, right?
Julius got 30 bits of silver, didn't he?
Yeah. Hanssen never told the Soviets his real identity. He either went by just Ramon or the full Ramon Garcia. Hanssen and his Russian pals would use dead drops to exchange intel and money. Robert would ignore any suggestions by his vodka-pouring mates to insist that he would choose locations and such for their business. So he didn't want them to have any say. He wanted to do it.
Sure, he's in total control of the operation.
Exactly. He created a code for the drops. It was a pretty simple method of just adding the 6 to the date. A drop schedule for March 1st at noon would look like September 6th at 6 p.m.
Okay,
So,
now this is something I didn't quite understand when I read the script yesterday.
Yep.
Adding 6 to March 1/12 does not give you September 6/6.
See, that's what I thought too. But
You just
that's how
got this from something else.
Yeah.
Oh, adding 6 to the date. So March 6th, surely that'd be March 7, no? 1 and 6 is 7.
That's what I would think.
Well, somehow adding 6 to March 1st gives you September the 6th. March is the third month in September. Oh, the 9th.
The month is right.
3 plus 6 is 9, right.
Yeah.
So how do we get from... Never matter.
Noon is right.
Code, it was very simple.
It's just a date. Yeah, I don't get well, whatever. Hanssen recalled yet again to Washington, D.C. In 87. He was tasked with studying all known rumored penetrations of the FBI to find the man who betrayed and executed KGB agents.
Penetration.
I know. Robert was in charge of searching for himself, in a sense. Yes.
Yeah, he was in charge of the team tasked with finding himself.
Yeah.
Right.
Hanssen wielded the tools given to him by the FBI to keep himself above suspicion as he went on providing the Soviets with information on moles of the KGB. So he's doing both jobs. Mm-hmm. He executed his plan near flawlessly. One slip-up, though, was when, according to a government report, Robert committed a serious security breach by revealing secret information to a Soviet defector during the briefing. His fellow agents went straight to the boss, ratted his ass out.
Yes.
You know what they did?
They immediately arrested him and put him on trial.
Nope. Nothing. Nada. Zilch.
When you say nothing,
yep.
They didn't put him on a report or anything.
Nada.
Keep an eye on this guy.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. He also took some additional risks when it came to information given to the Soviets. He once said in a letter to the KGB that they should emulate the management styles of Mayor Chicago Richard J. Daley.
Okay, the management style of Mayor of Chicago Richard Daley is not something to be emulated. If you don't know what, it basically ran the cops like a mafia organization, and brutally put down with physical violence a number of demonstrations. He put down the Democratic 1968 National Convention demonstrations, which turned into a riot because of the police activities. And he also pretty much declared war on the Black Panther Party. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All true.
So let's not emulate that management style.
Yeah. Good guy. We should do an episode on him, too.
Daley, and his kid, his son.
Oh, yeah. Good call.
Mm-hmm.
A typical investigation, tactic of the FBI. And this goes back to even Hoover. right? Or before you
our
could
old
even
friend.
say, they would use information like this because you're giving up information of, hey, who would have an interest in Chicago? Somebody from Chicago.
Yes.
So it kind of narrows it down as to who's your mole, right?
Mm.
Hanssen also advised his Russian brothers that they should try to recruit some of his close friends. A colonel in the United States Army was one. All this seems to indicate how impenetrable Robert was feeling during his games of cat and mouse.
Yeah, he's pretty much bulletproof, right?
Yeah, at least in his mind he is, right?
Well,
In
he's
80,
in charge of the organization
yep,
that has to find him, so he is bulletproof.
yeah,
Like, what could take him down at this stage?
right. And so far, anytime anything's been thrown his way, nobody wants to do anything about. So
They do nothing, as you said. Hang on, let me check. Zilch, I believe is the word you used to
Yes.
describe what happened. Okay.
Hanssen hindered the investigation of Felix Bloch, or Bloch. Bloch was a Department of State official who was suspected of working with the Soviets. Robert tipped off his KGB buddies that Bloch was being investigated. The KGB ended communicating with him, and the FBI could not produce any good evidence to prosecute him. So they ended up basically just the State Department terminated him and denied him his pension.
Okay.
So
That's still not good, but he should have been arrested, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So back in '77, the Soviets began constructing a new embassy. During this time, the FBI tunneled underneath it.
Oh, please.
Directly,
yes.
directly
Please
under their decoding room.
Of course they did.
Yep. So in '89, no surprise, the FBI decides that they're going to try to collect intel from the Russians, using this tunnel. Robert gave this bit of gossip to the Soviets in September of '89 to receive $55,000 the next month, equivalent to about 130 today. So he's making bank, right?
Yeah,
So by now Robert's pulling down some serious dough on his side hustle,
Yes,
right?
he is.
Despite this cash flow, his lifestyle did not change too much, or maybe
He's
in the
not driving
way.
around in fancy cars.
Yeah. So remember how I told you, Barrett to Makuda, that Robert confessed his dirty deeds more than once over the years to clergy?
You told me that, yes.
Yep. Well, his priest would just simply tell him to say a Hail Mary and donate the cash to a charity, a Catholic charity.
Sure.
So he donated a ton of his blood money to somebody who loves blood-soaked money. Mother, she put the C in cunt Teresa. I shit you not.
Mother Teresa did have a lot of blood money.
Yes, she did.
She ran on blood money.
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
Now, you would also think, I bet this guy's living it up, partying like a madman, right?
Cocaine and hookers, right?
Exactly. Yep. Well, he did party, sort of.
Okay.
Robert was a regular at the D.C. area strip clubs and spent a great deal of time with a Washington, D.C. stripper named Priscilla Sue Gailey.
We had a favorite one.
Yeah, apparently. So she would, off to go with Hanssen whenever he went to Hong Kong or to Quantico.
She went to Quantico with him.
Yep. Hanssen gave her money. Jules even bought her a used Mercedes-Benz.
I'll buy her a new one. Come on.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of odd. But ended contact with her whenever she started using drugs and doing sex work.
So she was
How
doing enough
dare
cocaine
she?
for the two of them.
How dare she?
Yeah.
Gailey claims, though, that although she offered him sex on multiple occasions, Hanssen declined, saying that he was trying to convert her to Catholicism.
Well, now, you see, because she said it, it's believable.
I do believe her.
Yeah,
I do believe her.
because she said it. He didn't say that.
Mhm.
It's her testimony that he said.
Yeah.
Like, why would she say that? There's no benefit to her, right? I believe that.
That's
Then
just-
maybe he's sincere.
That's just so bizarre, though.
It's very weird to want to convert someone to Catholicism and bring them with you everywhere to Hong Kong,
Yeah.
and give them gifts and jewels and so on.
Yeah, but she started doing drugs. That's
Yeah.
too far.
Sex work.
Yeah, can't
Maybe
do
he
that.
got an image of somebody else's penis within her, and he didn't like that. Right?
Funny kind of mention that. Now,
Hmm.
speaking of sex, he kind of was party, but not what you would think, right? So, well, bar open tab. You'll be happy to hear he was doing some sex type stuff though too.
Why would I be happy to hear that?
Well, that's part of every story you would think, right? I mean, this kind of story. You got
Okay.
partying, right? And we're trying to fill all the dots, right?
I'm staying
So-
neutral on the
Oh,
orgies.
okay. All right. So Robert has this guy. His name's Jack Horscher, I think is his last name. He's a retired Army officer,
Okay.
and Robert will let him know whenever he was going to do a little of the old wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more with Bonnie. And then Jack would go outside the bedroom window and watch him.
I don't like this.
Bonnie had no idea about this, though.
That's
She
a
had
crime.
no idea. Yeah.
That's not cool.
Then,
this is worse than shopping FBI agents to the KGB.
in a
Sometimes
way,
it's like even worse.
yeah, especially if she didn't know it. You know what I mean? So I'm assuming because of money, this is where he spent some of his money. He took it one step further. Started videotaping all their sessions, right? So then he would, of course, share it. And then eventually he hooked up a closed circuit television so Jack could watch it live from a guest room.
Jack could be in the house.
Yeah, apparently.
And Bonnie didn't know anything about it.
That's what she said. She didn't know anything about it. He also would go on to different chat rooms, and all he would talk about was having sex with his wife. Because everybody wanted to know about him plowing Bonnie, I guess. Jesus was okay with this, but
It's what Jesus would have wanted, isn't it?
yeah.
For
Right.
this guy to go on internet chat rooms and give details and to tape him having sex with his wife and show those tapes to his friend, the retired army officer Jack Hanssen.
Right?
Yeah.
All right, so now we're in the 90s. We're at the 90s. Great. Fucking great time.
That's
Around
when I
this
went to
time-
university, man.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Around this time, Bonnie lets it slip to her sister Jean. About the time she caught Robert doing some spy stuff with the Russians. I mean, who doesn't have an in-law that's a double agent or something? Right? Come on.
Everywhere.
So yeah. So it turns out, my dear Carabarrio, that Jean's.
Barrio.
Yeah. Come on. Just keeping it real, man. Come on. Jean's hubby, aka Robert's brother-in-law, Mark Wack. Not Marky Mark. Mark Wack.
Wacky Mark.
Yeah, Wacky Mark. Ah, there you go. Is also working for the FBI. Small world. So his wife shares the deets on all this because how could she not, right? What's he do? He goes straight to the bosses, right? And as you know, I'm sure you probably know this by now, but what do you think that they did?
Arrest him immediately.
What do you think that they? No, seriously, you think that's what they did, Barry, my Manilow?
I would think if an FBI agent went to the superiors and said this guy is working for the Russians, they would at least ask some questions.
You know what they did?
They asked some questions.
Nothing. Nada. Zilch.
That sounds like a lot what they did the last time.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yep.
Like
Okay.
FBI people are generally congenitally, professionally paranoid.
Right?
And they just let this go.
Yeah.
This guy? No.
Yeah. I guess maybe that's part of it, right?
Pretty sure not this guy.
Yeah.
Does he look like a Ramon Garcia to you?
So I know, Barry, you're like me, right? So we're 1991, and you remember 1991. You know, that's the year my beloved Pittsburgh Penguins lifted the Stanley Cup for the first time.
Okay.
So
you have spoken to me before on other podcasts about this team you claim exists called the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yes.
And you expect me to believe that, like, this is obviously a long troll. You expect me to believe that there's a group of sporting people called the Pittsburgh Penguins, a team who came together and said, yes, we're in Pittsburgh. We need to think of an animal that inspires fear and intimidation in the heart of the enemy, like tigers or wolverines. Penguins. Okay, penguins. We're the Pittsburgh Penguins. No, forget it, man. It's bullshit. Horse shit.
But it's hockey. They play on ice. Who has a better advantage on ice than a penguin besides?
Dude, I could kick a penguin to touch and get 3 points on the conversion, okay? No.
Hey, my team is still... They won 5 cups. They're fucking best team ever.
If they're real, yeah, sure.
They are fucking real.
Are they? The Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yes.
Are you like... Would you wear a shirt that says Penguins on it?
I do. I'm just not wearing one today. If I would have known this would have been an issue, I wore one of my jerseys. I have.
What do you mean? If you've known this has been an issue, you gave me the script yesterday.
But I didn't think you would like.
You know how I feel about penguins.
But I didn't know it was a lack of disbelief.
Well, I didn't tell you about this issue, but you put that word in there. You said the penguins in the script, and you know how I feel about them. And did you think you were going to just skate past it?
I did. Oh, yeah, you skate. Haha. Yeah, you did say. Yeah.
No.
I didn't think we were going to disbelief.
They're vicious.
Polar bears are cool, but the thing was, the old arena was called the Igloo. So,
So what?
obviously it's Penguins. And it's Pittsburgh. It's peas. Come on, it's marketing.
Yes,
It's a great name.
Only polar bear started with a P. Good point. Just go on with your stupid penguin shit.
We won the cup. Anyway. Some other shit happened that year that's just not as important, but it's apparently important to the story, okay? Some other shit you might know that went down in Russia that year. About December, the USSR, it disbanded, right? So, and about this time, Robert Sphincter is gotten more tighter than a vault in the basement of the Nakatomi building during the holidays, okay? Just fucking, right? Yeah. Hanssen into communications with all his handlers because he's bugging out.
Can I just stop you there for a second?
Are you going to say something about the Penguins again? Because, I mean, seriously, do we have to stop shows so I can Google the Penguins?
First of all, yes, I'm going to say something with the Penguins. But secondly, this is for an ad.
Oh.
We were paid $10.
I'm not even questioning it.
They paid me $10. Okay,
just do it. Just do it.
All right. They said I have to lose the Irish accent monotone, right?
You're not going to like.
All right.
It's not like it's on an ad for the Philadelphia Flyers, is it?
Of course not. I don't know what that is. Is that like a cheap airline? No. Okay. Here we go. This is the ad. Okay. You don't have to listen to it. All right. This is just an ad, and I didn't want to do it, and you don't want to listen to it, and none of you want to listen to it. But how else are we going to pay the bill? Do you think this server pays for itself? Come on. Okay. Here we go. Just pretend like you care. All right. It'll be easier in the long run. Happy times. Happy times. Engaged, upbeat voice. Yeah. Don't tell me how to talk. Here we go. Did the FBI lie to you? Did they fill your head with dreams of adventure, glamour, hot women in long dresses with dramatic thigh splits wandering around Mediterranean casinos? Maybe you were promised you could chase aliens through the wet forests of the Pacific Northwest with a demure, bookish redhead who never believes you. Instead, you're sitting at a desk all day going through reams of data or making telephone calls to other guys sitting at a desk all day. This was not the dream. They lied to you. Maybe now it's time to do some lying of your own with the GRU. GRU stands for Glavoya Radvetstivilnoya Upravlenie, right? Currently known as Glivnoya Upravlenie Generalnego Sztaba Vorozhnych Sil Rossiyskoi Federacji. And we can help. That's all true, by the way. I mispronounced it, but it's true. Sign up to the special GRU Advanced Placement Program and be a proper spy for fuck's sake. Steal documents, have clandestine meetings in underground car parks in the middle of the night, bug someone's phone. I mean, it's completely unnecessary because we have interception technology for all types of communication. But maybe you're old school and you feel like putting an actual physical bug in someone's phone. The GRU has a great respect for tradition. Lie to your coworkers, lie to your friends and family. Maybe get a new family in a different country and lie to them. Denounce that really annoying guy in the office as a Russian spy, plant some of your stolen documents in his desk, and get rid of him forever. Contact one of our GRU handlers today for more information and a free pen. Decades of Soviet counterintelligence engineering has produced the best writing implement in the history of the world. You can write upside down, underwater, and it just keeps on going. It's a pencil. But wait, there's more. If you call within the next 10 minutes, you will be included in a raffle for an ice cream truck, tricked out with all the latest surveillance equipment and a big satellite dish on top, disguised as a cone. The weird plinky plonky music can be your choice of Camptown Races, Pop Goes the Weasel, or the Imperial Death March from Star Wars. Contact us today, or even better, we'll contact you.
Oh, God damn it.
That's all right.
That was worth $10.
Oh, yeah, they made me work for it.
Well done. The next year after the Russian Federation assumed control of the former Soviet spy agencies, it's been around 10 months since Robert has gone dark to the Russians, right? He's getting quiet.
Yeah, stop because the USSR fell apart.
Yep. He decides to take a big risk and approach the GRU. It's been too long, so he can't do dead drops. So he breaks his own rules. He makes a bold move and goes to the Russian embassy in person.
He goes to the Russian embassy. That's
yes.
Okay.
Yep. He walks.
¿Cómo estás, Ramon
Barry, okay? You were there. Because he walks right up to a GRU officer in the parking lot. Hanssen is carrying a package of documents, identifies himself by his secret code name, Ramon Garcia.
Ramon
Yes.
Garcia.
Yes, it describes himself as a disinfected FBI agent.
I hope he said disaffected.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, disaffected. Disaffected. God,
I assume all of the FBI
Yes.
agents are disinfected.
you hope so. Yeah. I got the shot. Yeah. Who was offering his services as a spy? The Russian officer does not speak to him or give him any indication that he's on board. He gets his vehicle and gets the fuck out of there.
Mm.
So I'm sure Robert probably pissed himself a little bit right there.
I mean, there was nobody in the old GRU that held over into the new administration who knew who this guy was.
No, it doesn't sound
That's
like
weird.
it at this point. So,
Yeah.
Or at least he reached out to the wrong fucking person.
Or he reached out to the wrong
because
person.
the Russians were convinced that this whole exercise was some sort of Yankee trick to obtain information from them.
Maybe Hanssen thinks like all Russians are the same. Maybe he's racist.
Yeah, Ramon.
Ramon.
Yeah.
Let's go back to Mexico.
The office did not know anything about Ramon Garcia. It assumed that he was trying to convert him to a spy for Russia for the FBI. The Russians were so the Russians were so moved by this that they filed an official protest with the U.S. State Department. Yes, Russia became a Karen and asked for the manager.
You know this guy Ramon Garcia? He's trying to shake us down for spy shit.
Yeah. So, despite having shown his face and disclosing his code name and revealing that he was an FBI agent, Hanssen still escapes arrest. The FBI investigation goes nowhere, so he gets by with
At least there was an investigation.
True.
But this investigation was into Ramon Garcia.
Yeah.
And there would have been no connection between their investigation and Hanssen.
At that point, right, yeah.
With that, what I assume at that point.
So, 1993, that's where we're at. Penguins, they're real, and they are two-time back-to-back Stanley Cup champions.
Oh, really? Really? That's very cool.
Boys win a third.
What a coincidence. They're not only real, but the two-time back-to-back champions. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. But we're not going to talk about what happened the rest of the year. We're not going to talk about Game 7, Barry. Okay? I'm over it, Barry.
Okay,
I'm over it. Fuck you, David Volek, you Ireland motherfucker. Fuck you. David Volek, fucking ham and egg piece of shit.
So David Volek is, I assume, somebody who works for the Penguins.
No, he played for the Islanders. He scored a goal.
The Islanders?
Yeah, the Islanders.
Is another hockey team?
They're from New York.
Okay.
Yeah, Long Island, New York. Yeah.
Okay.
Fucking Islanders.
I mean, that makes sense. That makes more sense than Pittsburgh Penguins.
Moving right along.
I believe that there's Islanders in New York. Yeah, David Volek. So far, David Volek is the only sensible, believable thing in your story.
God,
I like David Volek. You go, David.
God, David Barry.
Man. Volek.
You know who wasn't pissing all over my dreams? Well, he sort of was. But he wasn't pissing all over his dreams or losing shit to some fucking ham and egg Barry. It was Robert. He was too busy fucking Uncle Sam.
Yeah. Okay, go on.
1993. 1993. So even though Snow's Informer was top 10, Robber is kicking it like a robber. Robbie is kicking it like tag team. Whoop! There it is. Okay, you feel me?
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, this is fantastic. This is my favorite script you've ever written.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Robert is still doing his thing in '93 when he hacked into the computer of fellow FBI agent Ray Mislock.
Whoop! There it is.
He prints out classified information documents from Mislock's computer and takes the documents to Mislock, saying, "You didn't believe me that your system was insecure." Hanssen's bosses were not so down with this play and decided, we're going to check into this. Robert's boss ends up siding with him, though, and thinks that he was actually just showing the security issues within the FBI framework.
I actually get this.
Uh-huh.
Because he went straight to the guy and said, "Here's what I took from your computer."
Yep.
That to me does sound like the kind of thing somebody would do if they were trying to expose security problems.
Right.
Like, that's believable, right? I get that.
Mislock has since theorized that Robert probably went over to his computer to see if his supervisors were actually investigating him for espionage.
Yeah,
Invaded the whole situation. No doubt. He probably just said, "What the fuck's your problem, man?"
Maybe he would say, "Thank you very much. I'm going to lock up my computer tighter."
Probably not.
No, okay. Okay, probably not that. Okay, fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Wilson. Get back to your fucking office, you geek.
So 94, everybody's rocking flannel, I'm sure.
Oh, please.
You were no
Everybody's rocking
different, right?
flannel both before and after 94. Flannel never was
Right.
out of fashion.
You got that. Robert asked for a transfer to the new National Counterintelligence Center,
Cool.
which coordinated counterintelligence activities. When he was told that he would have to take a polygraph to join, Hansen changed his mind. Fortunately, he didn't talk to you, Barry, because you would have talked to him.
Okay, I would have
right?
helped him out. Yeah.
Yeah. 3 years later, convinced FBI mole, convicted FBI mole, Earl Edward Pitts, told the FBI he suspected Hansen due to this whole Mislock incident, right? The whole printing out stuff. Pitts is the second FBI agent to mention Hansen by name as a possible mole to his superiors. Still, they were unconvinced and did nothing. Nada. Zilch.
Arrested.
Nothing.
This is the third time you've said zilch in this podcast.
At least, right? Get ready for more. IT personnel from NSD unit were sent to
What's
investigate
NSD?
National Security Department, I think.
Okay.
Anyways, they wanted to. He was having problems with his Robert's laptop, right?
Okay.
So the chief, Joni Sullivan, ordered the computer impounded
Irish name.
after it seemed that it had been tampered with. A digital investigator found an attempt of hacking had occurred using a password cracking program installed by Robert, which caused a security alert and locked up. After confirmation, Sullivan filed a report with the Office of Professional Responsibilities requesting further investigation. Hanssen claimed that he was just trying to connect to his computer, but he needed to color printer, right? But he needed a password cracker to bypass the administration password.
Okay.
The FBI believed his story and did nothing. Nada. Zilch.
Now wait a second. Also,
Yes.
just hang on a second. Have you ever had a problem connecting a printer to your computer?
Yes, I have.
Right.
Often.
I get it. Maybe somebody in the investigative team said, you know what? I had that problem last year. He's fine. I get the mislock thing and I get the printer thing. I don't get the two problems they had before.
Yeah.
An FBI would say this guy's a Russian mole. There's a difference between that and saying this guy's having trouble connecting his printer.
Exactly.
You know?
During the same period, Robert searched the FBI's internal computers record case to see if he was in fact being investigated. He was indiscreet enough. Yep, he was indiscreet enough to search his own name. Didn't find anything.
Never Google yourself.
Nada. Zilch.
Again.
Have I Googled myself? Long time ago.
I Google myself all the time, man.
Do you?
At least once a month.
Okay.
And that's how, well, I'm not going to get into it. That's how I've discovered something that a company published one of my articles and they never told me.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's cool. It's fine. But I wouldn't have found it otherwise.
That's interesting. After going dark for about 8 years, Robert decides it's game on, right? They're not looking at him. He established his contact with the SVR, which is the new KGB at this point, during the autumn of 99. May Prince rest in power. From early 1996, FBI knew that they had another Russian traitor working against them. CIA agent Aldrich Ames, was arrested in 1994, as well as, again, we talked about this guy already, FBI agent Earl Pitts in 96, both working for the KGB. Still, there were leaks, though, right? So someone else had be...
After the arrests, there was still information leaking out.
Yep, stuff was sent to Russia. So FBI and CIA formed a joint mole hunting task force in 94 to find suspected second intelligence leak.
Well, you know things are serious when the FBI and the CIA form a joint team.
Right. We could debate how joint they really are in this, but they created a list of agents that would have known access to the cases that were being compromised. FBI's code name for the suspected spy was Gray Suits. Real creative.
Which is ironically very suitable.
Yeah. The FBI focused most of its efforts on CIA agents.
Right. And I assume the CIA focused most of their efforts on FBI agents.
I guess. That's what we have, right? Some say that that this was because, the case is linked up, dictated as such, as in, hey, it's only these guys. Others claimed that the FBI just couldn't handle the idea that the mole was coming from their house, right? The call was not coming from us, right?
Well, it would be very odd for an FBI agent to be involved in like Soviet counterintelligence when that's really a CIA
Right?
thing.
Yeah, and we've also kind of like maybe have already seen a little bit of this already, where they just don't want to admit that there's a problem. You know, at this point, the FBI is the meme of the dog and the house is on fire, right? There's not a problem.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Everything's fine.
Yeah,
This is fine.
it's not our house; it's on fire. It's you fuckers.
Hmm.
98. Now we're back to 98. They zoom in on a CIA counterintelligence agent named Brian Kelly for 4 years. They surveil him 24/7, interrogate and intimidate his friends and family, and him, of course. He was put on leave from the CIA pending investigation. The FBI turns his life upside down. Kelly was the head of one of the cases that was compromised, and his morning jog routine passed by one of the dead drops used by a mole. That's it. That's all they have.
For some reason.
Yeah, but that's all they have. They have nothing else to link him to anything else, right? So it turns out in Russia that these guys, like Roberts, they're working for the FBI on their own, right? Who flipped like Robert and want to sell information, right? So there's somebody over there just like him, who's want to do the same thing, right? Right.
Yeah.
So kind of crazy. The FBI decides, hey, that's an interesting idea. Maybe we should get on that action. So they find some guy named Alexander Shabarkov, whatever. Alexander is a KGB agent looking to make a buck. FBI decides to drop 7 million reasons for him to fix the mole problem.
$7 million.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he got paid. So now Alex K to the OGB, right? He gives the feds a file on B. B is a known American foreman. Okay. The file does not have Hanssen's name, but there is an audio tape of a July 21st, 1986 conversation between B and KGB agent Alexander Feflov. FBI agent Michael Wogsbach thought that the voice sounded familiar, but could not remember who it was. Rifling through the rest of his files, he found a note that the mole used a quote from General George S. Patton about the purple pissin Japanese. That's fun. FBI analyst Bob King remembered Hanssen using that same quote. So, Wogsbach listened to the tape again. Yeah, listened to the tape again and recognized his voice. So now they know, right? With the mole finally identified, location, dates, cases were matched with Hanssen's activities during the period. Two fingerprints were collected from a trash bag, were analyzed, and proved they got their man, right? This is who it is. The FBI keeps tabs on Robert and catches him in contact with the Russians. They decided the best way to really watch him is to bring him back home, right? So they needed to get him back to FBI headquarters. What's the best way to do that? They give him a promotion. He's got a new job. He's a supervisor, supervising computer security. January 2001, he's got a new office and an assistant by the name of Eric O'Neill. But O'Neill's actual duties is to collect evidence on Hanssen. Soon, O'Neill gets a hold of Hanssen's PDA and has agents download the code of the encryption contents, and the FBI has obtained the evidence they needed.
Whoomp, there it is.
That's it. During his final days with the FBI, Hanssen began to suspect something was wrong. February 2001, he asked a friend at a computer technology company for a job. He also believed that he heard noises on his car radio indicating it was being bugged. Although the FBI would later unable to reproduce the noises, Robert claimed to have heard. So possibly he was just paranoid, but who knows?
Or he might have been right.
True. In the last letter he wrote to the Russians, which was found by the FBI when he was arrested, Hanssen said that he had been promoted to a do-nothing job outside of regular access to information, and that something has aroused the sleeping tiger.
Notice that he didn't say something has aroused the sleeping penguin.
God damn it, Barry.
Tiger.
That's where you went with this. Okay. All right. However, Hanssen's suspicions did not follow him. Did not stop him from making one more dead drop. After leaving a friend at an airport on February 18th, 2001, Hanssen drove by the Virginia Foxstone Park. He placed a white piece of tape on a park sign, which is a signal to the Russians to contact that there was information at a dead drop site. He then followed to his usual routine, taking a package consisting of sealed garbage bags of classified material, taping it to the bottom of the side of a wooden footbridge over the creek. When FBI agents observed this incriminating act, they rushed to arrest Hanssen. Upon his arrest, Hanssen said, "What took you so long?"
What took you so long?
Yeah. What a response. That's good. That's cool. The FBI waited 2 more days to see if Hanssen's SRV handlers would show up at Foxstone Park. They didn't, so they pretty much ended the case and then announced his arrest on February 20th. To avoid the death penalty, Hanssen pleaded guilty to 14 counts of espionage, 1 to conspiracy to commit espionage. He was sentenced to 15 life sentences, life terms without the possibility of parole, and was incarcerated at ADX Florence until his death just recently, June 5th, 2023.
It is recent.
So ends the tale of Robert Hanssen, not a member of the Hanssen brothers. So,
How do you feel about
this guy
that?
did a lot of damage.
He did. He got people killed.
But it's also the fucking FBI's fault. You know what I mean? They just
had plenty of chances that they for some reason squandered, and for reasons I don't quite understand.
Yeah, just a fucking weird dude. And I don't know if they would have actually given him more of a chance as being a field agent, that he wouldn't have done this. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. That's the argument from Othello. The argument, if Iago had been promoted, would any of that have happened?
Yeah.
And maybe he would have just found another reason to do that.
Exactly. Who knows?
I don't know.
Strange character, though. Strange character, indeed.
Yeah. So we do what's happening this week?
Oh, yeah, this part.
What's new? Just before every podcast, I put CIA into Google and hit the news tab. Seamus puts FBI into Google and hits the news tab. And then we pick 2 or 3 stories we think might be interesting or funny. We've not told each other what these stories are, so we're hearing them for the first time. Like you. Seamus, FBI goes first.
Well, one would have been the headline of the story we just read, obviously, right? Because he dropped dead. The other one would be mainstream media doesn't care about the CIA may have helped 9/11. In obscure court filings, dozens of former FBI agents and other alleged that an intel CIA operative on U.S. soil accidentally felicitated the 9/11 attacks. Oopsies.
You're just going to leave it there? There's no further information on that? What's the next line say?
If only anyone in the establishment would have noticed.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's something we definitely have to look up afterwards, all right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's on Jacobin. That's it. So
Well, I know Jacobin, yeah.
FBI agent who testified for the Republicans was suspended over leak-sensitive information.
Okay.
So one of the whistleblower in this whole debacle, apparently he was already in trouble for leaking stuff. So
he already had his whistle blown elsewhere.
Also related to that, Comer cancels the contempt vote.
From the start again? Say it from the start.
Comer,
okay.
Yep. He cancels the Ray contempt, as in Ray. What's his name, right? The FBI director, Ray. W-R-A-Y. Contempt vote as FBI agrees to share documents. Because remember, they were like,
remember the last time you said that they were subpoenaed and they weren't playing ball.
Yep. So now they're going to play ball.
Good. They backed down. Good.
Yeah.
This is working. Okay, that's a good sign.
Yep. So that's what I got for this week.
Okay. My CIA links are, the first one is, before he was the Unabomber, Ted Kaczynski was a mind control test subject. The paragraph is, Ted Kaczynski, the anarchist and Unabomber who died in a prison federal medical facility on Saturday, transformed from boy genius to terrorist, going from a star math student to a feared assailant who targeted academics. Where are we going? Blah, 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 blah. Kaczynski entered Harvard as a 16-year-old on a scholarship after skipping 6th and 11th grades. It was there that he was subjected to an experiment run by Harvard psychologist Henry Murray that was backed by the CIA. That's my first link. My second one is CIA had info of Ukraine plot to attack Nord Stream pipeline. The U.S. Central Intelligence Agency had information that Ukraine planned to carry out an attack on the Nord Stream natural gas pipeline 3 months before it was targeted. So that's a link you might want to check out if you're interested in that story, which is actually...
Are they going to make up their mind on that one, too? Because that one seems...
No, just it exploded on its own, okay?
They keep fucking changing. Anyways.
They keep fucking changing, yeah. America did it, NATO did it, Russia did it, now the Ukrainians did it.
Remember, Russia stole the plan that we had to do. That was my favorite. Fucking Russia, they stole our election, then they stole our plans to blow up the Nord Stream.
Robert Hanssen gave them the plan.
Yeah, exactly.
And the last one I have is the CIA's Pride Month message is somehow not a parody, which already the headline is. Fantastic news, everyone. The Central Intelligence Agency has gone woke. That's right. The very same government body that used a lie detector to root out gay employees in the 1980s is officially on the side of the LGBTQ plus mafia. Praise be to bureaucracy. And that's another article you want to read, which is phrased in strangely homophobic language, but it's still very funny. So...
also, a bit of foreshadowing because one of the next episodes we do will be on that kind of stuff, or very related to what we. Yeah, it's going to be gay. It's going to be
gay. It's going to be a gay episode. Gay. It's going to be gay. Episode. That episode's gay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's okay. It's okay to be gay, Barry.
Is it? That's what my mother told me.
I know.
Did I tell you that? This is a true story. When I was 16.
Me and your dad have talked, so I'm just.
Oh yeah,
he said to remind you.
She said she knew I wasn't talking to any girls, right? And she said, "Barry, we'll love you no matter what way you are." I said, "What?" She said, "We'll love you and accept you no matter what way you are." And I figured out that she thought I was gay. And I was like, I mean, you know, in one way I kind of get it, but in another way, my own mother. So, you know,
there's much worse things to be called. So.
There is. Yes. Like, it wasn't insulting. It was just weird.
Yeah.
I said, I've got to start talking to some girls.
Yeah. Alrighty. That's it, folks.
We'll
see y'all. See y'all here in 2 weeks.
All y'all.
Bye, everybody.